Okay, well I thought I'd try the wide wheel first and explain what it is about the deck here. Now, notice that I relatively naturally put my foot in the middle of the board and stood up, and I've got this much space between the back and the front, and I've got a place for my feet already. It's actually, even though the board ends here, I've got this much available on the back for my feet. Now, on downhilling, I tend to want to do this sort of thing. Knees together, and sometimes if it's a rugged downhill, I want to put my foot on the stand there, which I can. I can't really go further forwards, it doesn't make sense, but I can lean off the board, and I have this grip tape on the sides, so that I actually, and it makes sense, because when you're going in that direction and cornering to the left, this wing actually leans over so that your forces are naturally down on that angle. So it's actually a really cleverly designed roll-off, so that you can actually be keeping your forces in the right place. Whoever designed the board on this was a genius. It's just ergonomically perfect. Less space down the back, guaranteeing you're central to the line between the wheels, space up the front to allow you to change your balance. So by doing this, I can also lean this far forwards to cater with the throttle when I hit that down. Now, that's pretty ideal, and I love it. So let's go and have a look at the MX60 and see how that goes. Okay, well here's the MX60 with the front wheel contact patch in the same place, and you can see how much further back it extends over the wide wheel. And you can see when I stand beside it, you know, how much higher up the stem comes. So it's a little bit like, you know, I could probably just headbutt that if I wanted to. But let's just go and stand on it. And so you do come up a lot further as a result of it. But notice how, you know, I just wanted to naturally put my leg down there a bit. And there's nothing there. There's just the metal of the struts for holding the suspension system, and the grip board starts here. So I'd like to put more of my weight over the back wheel sometimes, or more of my weight over the front wheel sometimes. So this feels like it was designed by an engineer who was obsessed with engineering accuracies and engineering perfection, because the brakes are good design. These hub covers over the wheels on all ends are just amazing. I haven't covered really that much yet. But this is the suspension adjustment here, and you don't want to break it, so you feel like you don't want to put your foot there. So really, as soon as I stand up on this, I can't really lean forward into any kind of acceleration. I'm sort of stuck. So I've got to pull on the stem, which we all know is a bad idea. But in terms of foot length, I've got that. You know, I can't even get both feet on the deck. If I put that foot there and that foot there, then, you know, and I haven't got big feet. So I don't know, need something that extends up through to here to allow me to put my toe there and have something under my heel there, and then that'd actually be pretty reasonable. So my plan for this guy, before I piss it off and sell it, is to put a kick up there. So, and I'll probably put something on the front because, as I mentioned before, this is pretty slippery when it gets going, and the last thing I'd want is to just have my foot slip out from underneath me and nut the bar, and then have my feet hit the road coming up underneath me, and go down the road in a tangle of arms and legs and scooter. Wouldn't be my ideal. So, like most scooters, it's a kit, except for the engineering is well thought out. But as a rider's machine, it's meant for some rich Russian dude who doesn't have any skill, which is where you seem to see most of the pictures from these things from, just standing there, riding along in the park, hanging on to the thing, doing this. Foot either side here and going, oh, it's a lovely day, isn't it? It's marvellous. I need to stop. I'm just going to put all my weight on the bars. Now, with them lean back towards me like that, it does reduce the angle of stress that I'm putting on there, but it's still not a good idea. And then when they accelerate, they just pull back on it, putting the bar in a bad position because you're leaning back already at an angle. So I don't know. The rack's been very helpful. The scoot's really smooth, ride's really lovely, everything's really tight, the forks work really well, the rear suspension works really well, the tyres soak up a lot of the noise, soak up a lot of the road, but they make a lot of noise on the road. You know, it's really a frustrating experience, because I've realised how much I like my little wide wheel. And by the way, let me just see if I can move this in. My wide wheel is now tucked in there neatly underneath my house beside my wood, whereas this thing sticks its arse out the back when I'm not using it. Okay, well, there it is.